even if you don't make it, even if you don't do as good as you thought you would in this race, you can always try again. You can always do it next year, or you can try a different race.
Welcome to the Dark Zone, an adventure racing podcast. This is your host, Brian Gatens. In adventure racing lingo, a dark zone is a time when, due to darkness or safety, teams are paused on the course before continuing with the race. During that time, stories are exchanged, friendships are kindled, spirits are restored, and teams have a chance to prepare for the next challenge. We hope that you make good use of this dark zone. We're glad that you're here. Zoe F is a rising third grader from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. In the run-up to the Endless Mountains Adventure Race, she found some time to speak with the Dark Zone. Thank you to Zoe for her insight and her thoughts about adventure racing, third grade, and her teachers. We're happy that she could join the Dark Zone. Listeners, this very well may be the best 9 minutes of your day. Enjoy the Dark Zone. You're involved in the planning of the Endless Mountains Adventure Race. You've had a chance to be here for several days and sort of see what's going down. What are your thoughts about the race so far?
I think it's cool that people get to go out and experience doing this for real.
Doing this for real?
Mm-hmm.
Now, you know that adventure racing, you've been to a lot of races yourself.
Yeah.
You know that racing has a lot of different things going on. Of the different components of the race, whether it be the trekking, the mountain biking, or the paddling, what do you think is the most difficult for people to do?
I think it's biking, because you have to be really careful. If you make one wrong, turn, or if you go over a too big route or something, you can fall and really hurt yourself. And I think that's really scary if you don't have the right equipment to help you.
Gotcha. So it's the combination of the speed combined with the possible danger of hitting something and hitting the ground kind of hard.
Yeah.
As someone who's been to a lot of races yourself, what do you find as being, what feeling do you think most people have when they're racing?
I think they're really happy that they get to do it, but they're also nervous that they will hurt themselves or not have as fun as they wanted to.
So they think that, so a couple different things get in the way. They're nervous about any possible danger that would be involved, or they're nervous about being with their teammates. Now, you've seen a lot of teams go through transition areas.
Yes.
The teams that do well, what do they most commonly share?
What they're happy about and what they are having fun with.
And what do you think that means when they say they're happy about it? What makes them happy about adventure racing?
That they're in nature and they get to experience how it can feel to be on something that's really scary.
But let me ask you a question, because you say be in nature. Being in nature is nice, right? We go for a hike, but adventure racing and being in nature are two separate things. What makes adventure racing different?
I think adventure racing doesn't always have to be in nature, like the woods or the beach or something, but I think it makes it a little bit different. I think it makes it the same, that they are, no matter what, they're probably outside, and outside in roads that aren't in this a big city are usually sort of nature.
Gotcha. When the grown-ups do adventure racing together, what do you think the teammates share that makes them work together so well? You said they were happy before, and that's nice, but do you think that
how they feel?
Well, do you think they communicate well? Think they speak well to each other? Why? What makes a successful team successful?
They share how they're feeling, and if they are hurt or upset or don't feel good enough to go on.
So reverse that for me. When teams don't do well, what gets in the way, do you think?
Their fear of not being able to do it and how they feel to do it but not be able to do it.
I see what you're saying. So the idea that they're concerned that they're letting each other down.
Yeah.
Right, you're in a team there.
Mm-hmm.
Who are some of your adventure racing heroes?
My mom and dad.
So who are your mom and dad? Tell me.
Abby Perkis and Brent Friedland.
Okay. And what do they do?
They race and do marathons, and they have been in the championship A.
Wow, that's pretty cool. So your mom and dad are in the championship. So it's really
Yes.
exciting for you, right? Mm-hmm. What is your favorite part about adventure racing? Because you've been to a lot of races, and I bet that our listeners would really enjoy hearing your perspective.
That you can experience being out there and just being free instead of like when you're doing something that could be really terrifying because you don't know what you're doing. But in racing, even if you don't know, you still have more chances. But in some things like friendships, sometimes you don't have more chances to get them back.
Interesting. So it's really important in a race that you stay friends, right, and you race really well together.
And even if you don't make it, even if you don't do as good as you thought you would in this race, you can always try again. You can always do it next year, or you can try a different race. But no matter what, I think you usually have a second chance, or
Sometimes a third, or a fourth, or a fifth.
Or as long as it takes, you always have another. I feel like you usually have another chance.
Very nice.
No matter how many other chances you have already had.
Nice. So tell us a bit about yourself. What grade are you going into?
I'm going into 3rd grade this year, and I am a little bit not scared, but nervous because most of the teachers are coming out, and I don't even know I think there might be all new teachers.
Oh, so you worried about that?
I'm not worried about one of them because one of them was my teacher this year and she's moving up, so I'm not worried about that one.
Gotcha. But you might get a brand new teacher.
If I get a new teacher, which I want to try someone else, but if I get a new teacher, that could be scary, maybe. I don't know. Just I would probably be a little bit sad that I didn't just get a different teacher or get back with my teacher.
Gotcha. Would you want an adventure racer to be your teacher?
Yeah.
Why? What makes an adventure racer a good teacher?
They've had since they have done races, they have knowledge of how it's like to be in nature and in big cities and stuff, and they probably have learned like a lot of school things too. Got
it. So you think an adventure racer, because they've been in nature and they know what challenges like, they do a really good job teaching boys and girls.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So aside from your mom and dad, what other adventure racers do you know?
You.
Me? Okay, I do that, right? I've been known to do that. There's probably so many you can't list them all, right?
Yeah. And I don't really remember most of the names.
Well, it's probably hard to because you're on the microphone and we're talking now. So we're coming close to the end of our time together because you have to help care for your baby brother, Simon.
We only have about a minute left.
About a minute left. So any closing thoughts that you want to share with the listeners for the Dark Zone?
I hope if you ever do another or your first race, you do really well, and that you can keep going if you don't do as well as you thought you would.
Well, Zoe, thank you very much for being on the Dark Zone. You're an excellent young ambassador for adventure racing. Can you give me a high five? Well done. Thank you, Zoe.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, Zoe, for your thoughts about the Endless Mountains Adventure Race and all that you have going on this week. For those at home, be sure to follow the Endless Mountains either on Facebook or at www.endlessmountainsar.com. Rootstock Racing has done a great job putting together an elite media team that is bringing all aspects of the race to everybody out there in the world. And thank you, listeners, for choosing to spend your time with us. We know that you have a lot of choices in today's world, and we value your time and attention. The Dark Zone will always remain free to its listeners. If you have enjoyed this episode, please pay a visit to your podcast streaming platform of choice and leave a review. That is the best way to spread the word. Also, always feel free to reach out to me, Brian, at ardarkzone.com. Your feedback and guest suggestions are always welcome. Thank you, listeners, for joining us at the Dark Zone. Have fun out there.